Hello and welcome to the next installment of Singing with Peggy. Our previous videos in this series have involved learning about the instrument itself and its different components, and we've spent our time on the activator, which is the breath, through a series of exercises to get the proper posture for singing, then combining posture with breath for posture breath, and then last time we moved from breath to sound, posture breath, moving into the creation of sound using the vocal vibratory process in the larynx. So before going on to the next aspect of singing, which will involve resonance, today we're just going to walk through a series of vocal exercises. You could use this as a daily warm-up. In fact, even if you aren't a singer, this might be a nice daily warm-up for your voice if you're a speaker, if you're working online or working in any kind of business where you use your voice, or even for those who may be just staying at home these days. I recently posted on the Peggy Holloway Voice Studio page a very interesting article that was recommending using deep breathing exercises for dealing with some of the stresses that we're having at this time. It couldn't be a more important time. The article discussed a little aspect I want to address first before we get into the actual warm-up routine that I would like to invite you to do along with me, or you can go back and rewatch the video and do this every day if you want to. So the issue that was being discussed was whether to breathe through the mouth or through the nose. In our posture breath exercises, we had a series of vowel sounds that we used for breathing through the different posture steps, but we also used the NG consonant, and that caused us to actually inhale through the nasal passages through the nose. And I am a proponent of breathing through a variety of different apertures. If you're going to be singing something that begins on a nice open ah vowel, then yes, breathing through a and being prepared to sing makes a lot of sense. Breathing through the nose can have its benefits as well. If we are thinking in times of a virus, although this will probably not keep you from getting a virus, but it's a nice idea with extra pollutants in the air. Hopefully none of you have been around any tear gas recently or anything like that, but that we would like to filter the air that we breathe. And the nose is a natural filter. You will get filtering through moisturizing it, the filtering process of the cilia in the nose, and then also warming the air, so it can be a wonderful way to breathe. We can think about standing at the top of a mountain, breathing in the air, and if we're using our release of the abdominals that we've learned in our previous exercises, then we can get a nice deep lowering of the diaphragm and getting the lungs to fill up with air, and it can be very relaxing. So at points through this demonstration today, we will talk about times when you might want to breathe through your nose, especially our number 4 of our posture breath. Now we're going to go through a series of exercises. We'll start with a little bit of warming up the body, doing our posture breath exercises, then doing some of our other breathing exercises, vocal function to get the voice moving, then using some sounds to get phonation to start while still working with the breath, and then going into a few more of wonderful efficient sounds to move from some of our humming sounds into vowel sounds for nice, focused, and easy singing. So let's begin with where we've rubbed our hands together to do a little bit of some massaging, and we're only going to do just a few. Let's just gently massage the neck, the chin. Be sure that you can just gently lower your jaw, trying to get the tensions out of the neck. Just turn the head to the side, once to your right, which is going to be the opposite on the screen, I believe. Take a breath. Breathe. Exhaling on the motion, then the other direction. Roll your shoulders back twice and forward twice. Exhaling on the motion. Next, let's remind ourselves of the posture breath. I'll just talk you quickly through 2 breaths with each one of the steps. Step 1, I'm going to allow my neck to be free so that my skull may float upward. Breathing in on an E vowel twice. Number 2, allow my spine to release into length so my torso may open and widen on an ah vowel. Number 3, allow my hip joints to be free so my legs may release away from my pelvis on an oo vowel. And number 4, which will incorporate the nasal breathing that I just discussed. Allow my shoulders to release away from my torso as we breathe through the NG consonant with no sound, however. Once we have our creative posture, then we are going to allow the abdominal wall to release in that plop as we inhale. Check the sternum for the noble posture, and then we are going to tuck and hiss through an S sound. And then another plop as the cycle begins. Notice that I was constantly thinking about, you could even see me adjusting a little bit because I'm watching myself on camera to make sure that I don't collapse, that I keep my noble posture through that entire process. You may want to go through this a couple of times. Let's go ahead and do a couple of plops and tucks, and this time we're going to send out the air, exhale on a V sound. You can do it as long as you want to. I'll probably do it about 8 counts so that it doesn't go on interminably, but you will take your nice posture set, ready to inhale, sternum's up. Plop. Next, we might want to remind ourselves that the rib cage needs to also be expanding, so the fingers right under the rib cage, and we are going to just do short V sounds with a catch breath in between. Let's go ahead and do a little sniff breath, again breathing through the nose. So it'll be like this. V, 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 v. And as I was doing that, I was reminding myself that I could keep expanding my rib cage on each one of those little catch breaths. Next, a reminder of an exercise, and this is printed out on the Peggy Holloway Voice Studio page. This is the Repatica exercise, which is to really work on getting lots of breath energy and bounce, almost like a little bit of panting on words. And the order of it is repatica, repatica, and then you do 8 quick sounds on sh, s, sh, ft. And then we have the short, but with the rest in between, whit, 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 whit. So there are 4 whits. All right, I will demonstrate it for you and then we'll do it again so that you can join in. And it goes like this. Repatica, repatica, shh, 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 shh. Whit, 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 whit. One more time and you can join in this time. Ready? And repatica, repatica, shh, 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 shh. Whit, 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 whit. There's lots of bounce going on here in the epigastrium. So it's a good exercise for really getting your breath energy moving. Next, we're going to do a couple of things from the Institute for Voice Analysis and Rehabilitation. So these are good exercises even if you are not a singer. Let's begin by sustaining an E vowel softly, but with as much focus, like a little pinpoint of breath energy, so your vocal folds are really closing efficiently, and try to keep it incredibly steady and even. You can do it for as long as you want to. Again, I think I'll probably do it, maybe a little bit longer, maybe 16 counts, about 1, 2, 3, 4 would be the tempo. And we're going to use the note F, either above middle C for trebles and below middle C for the lower voices. So this particular note, so we're going to take our nice breath and go ahead and breathe it through that E vowel. So get your posture breath and And when you're done, remember how you stop the sound is just to inhale. Open the vocal folds and again, let that air just drop into you. Do as many of those as you want to. Now, kind of a fun exercise and very simple. It's going to find the lowest note in your range, which will be probably much lower than mine, and then go all the way up to the highest note of your range. And you can think in terms of even making that glide. A hand motion might be helpful for you to do it. And we're going to use the word knoll, K-N-O-L-L, like the famous grassy knoll. So it'll go like this. Knoll. See if you can do that with me. Find your own pitches, low and high. Knoll. Then we're going to do it in reverse, starting up and coming down. Do that as many times as you feel like that you need to. Very safe. You're not going to hurt yourself doing that. The next exercise will be to sustain the pitches in octaves, depending on your voice type. C, D, E, F, G. The intent, again, is to hold it as long as you can and try to keep it very steady. But I'm going to do each one of these just for 8 counts. So it's going to be 1 8-count period for each of those pitches. Then we'll do a nice deep breath in between. We're going to use a vowel O, nice and round, warm, creating a wonderful richness to the sound. So here we go. Now, we're going to go back to some exercises that we touched on in the previous video. I'm going to do a little lowering and moving of my camera because I am going to sit down. Reason being that I want to play the piano some, and it just works a little bit better if I'm sitting. We've talked about locking knees, and it's really tempting to kind of lock your knees back if you're standing and trying to play the piano. So I hope that this will work for us. The next exercise is one that we worked on with the lip trill, just to get the vibratory process going, the larynx, all those muscles, and the cartilages, the mucosal wave going, just to feel that we're valving our sound. So just to kind of work on going from breath to tone, we're going to use that lip trill. Let's do it on this pitch, depending on your type of voice, which octave you prefer. This is going to be a series of short sounds with a catch breath in between. And again, let's use the nasal breath. It'll be like a little sniff. So this is how it's going to go. And then that one can be a little bit longer at the end. So let's start actually on a lower pitch, and we'll go up the scale. Great. Then let's go down a scale. 5-note scale, pretty common in voice exercises. So we're going to do the. I'm not going to be as noisy with my sniff breath. I did that so that you could see I was actually taking that breath. So this is going to be down the scale. One little short, and then a breath. And. Let's go up one more. And again, up a half step. Good. And if you're at home doing this, you could go even further up and down the scale. I'm going to keep today's workout, warm-up, in very middle range. We're not going to work on range extension at this time. Last week we had a pattern which was the 4 staccato notes. Let's use this pitch. Then a quarter note, a rest, a quarter note, a rest, then, and then a long note, 4 counts. Let's do this on just a very gentle hum. And good. Do it 1/2 step up, and let's do it on the V sound. Here we go. Now we're going to do some 5-note slides. We did our wonderful low to high knoll, and this has kind of the same idea. We're going to do this on a variety of sounds, moving up by half steps in between, and at that time I will tell you a new sound, and these will all be a continuant sound so that you can do a slide. We'll start with a V, and you'll go sliding between the 2 pitches that I'm able to play on the piano. So I'll do an example and then we'll begin. Stay on the an M sound. Now we're going to do some exercises that will take us from those buzzy, hummy, continuant sounds into a vowel sound, trying to keep that wonderful focus. And remember, focus is about full closure of the vocal folds, and you might feel some wonderful buzzy sensations in the chest for chest voice, maybe across the bridge of the nose in your middle voice. And that's a wonderful sign that you are actually getting some good closure of your vocal folds. We'll begin by just doing a hum on a 5-tone scale descending. And we'll hold each pitch for as if it were in 4/4 time 2 counts. So it'll be like this. Let's do a couple of those, and I will move up by half steps in between. You'll hear the chord change. Now we're going to replace the second beat of each of those pitches with the E vowel. So it's going to be like this. All right, and then we'll do a few of those and go up and down by half steps. So you want to keep that wonderful hummy feeling into a nice buzzy E vowel. Well, my first big mistake, I forgot to go to the E. Let's do it again and go to the E this time. Now we're going to do a 5-note scale. We did the slides. Now these will actually sing each of the separate pitches. We'll do this on our V, and then we are going to do another version where we will move into a vowel sound. So for right now, just the V. To the E vowel on the top pitch and come back down the scale on an E. And finally, our last exercise will be to hum in this pattern, which will go up by thirds and then descend in the scale. We'll do it one time only on a hum. Ready, and now we'll do several where we are going to change from to an ah vowel. warming up, practicing with this video. And next time we're going to go another step with adding more exercises where you can move between your humming sounds, your focused sounds into other vowel sounds, and then also using the idea of resonance to find ways that you can make every one of the vowel sounds that you are singing equal in terms of the kind of resonating, ringing sound that you would like to make. I'll give you just a little preview that exercise that we just did could use the E where you feel comfortable and focused, and then opening to the ah vowel and trying to keep the ring in spite of the fact that you have a much different vowel shape. So we could have E, ah, with equal vibrancy and resonance. Happy singing, enjoy this video, and I'll see you next time.